So many new games are getting released every day, and finding a game worth playing in the sea of trash is becoming more and more difficult. The game in question today is EX Astris. It's a turn-based RPG developed by Hypergriff, the same developer that released Arknights, a game I myself consider one of the best mobile games to have come out in recent times. While Arknights was a gacha game, EX Astris will be a fully paid mobile game that is not gonna be a gacha. Big emphasis on mobile phone game. At least from what I know, EX Astris is not gonna be available on PC unless you're using an emulator like BlueStacks or LD Player. As for me, it has been many years since I bought a paid mobile phone game. Not surprising that I'm very intrigued to see how well EX Astris will do, especially because it's from a developer I think very highly of. The game is set to come out on the 27th of February, and it will cost $10. I saw many tweets about the game recently, but didn't know much about it other than that it will release soon. And since I will be testing the game no matter how shit it ends up being, I might as well make a video about the things we know so far, so you are a bit more informed about it and have an easier time to decide if you want to buy EX Astris or not. The first time we've ever heard about EX Astris was in late 2021. Out of nowhere, Hypergriff announced that they're working on a new game, EX Astris. Along with this announcement, we got an image of two characters that would later become known as Vi3 and Jan. Also, the same day, they published two trailers and a Q&A. The first trailer was meant to be an announcement trailer, but it was rather cryptic and it didn't really give away much information. But the same can't be said about the second one. This was a pre-alpha gameplay trailer. Here we would already get to see what kind of game we can expect. The first thing to notice was EX Astris will likely be a very atmospheric game, with exploring and adventuring being its main appeal. Since it's pre-alpha gameplay, you can't judge anything too harshly. But once I compare it to the Arknights Enfield launch trailer, I have to say it feels kinda like the same game. Be it from how the graphic looks, to how the characters are designed, or just their music, it gives you the exact same vibe as Enfield. And since I played Enfield myself, I would say it's the closest thing on the market to know how Enfield will likely be as well. Is it a bad thing though? Not really, but I think it's worth mentioning. As a big fan of old Final Fantasy games, where everything was turn-based, you can imagine that I really like the kind of playstyle, especially because I believe fast-paced games like Genshin and Tower of Fantasy, for example, are fun to play, but don't really work well on phone. Mobile phone games excel in slow gameplay and turn-based combat, at least in my opinion. Hence the reason why my most played games are Summoner's War and Arknights. Another unique thing about the gameplay will be that even though it's turn-based, you can in fact still block and parry when enemies are attacking you. I really like that, but I wonder how precise and necessary those will end up being in the final product. That announcement day, we got two trailers, one announcement and one Q&A. A lot of stuff, but those news will be the last we'll get for quite a while. The EX Astris Twitter account stayed quiet, almost forgotten by the community, and barely anyone mentioning the existence of the project in general. This until October 2023, 2 years of silence, but eventually Twitter started to become increasingly active again. Beside them announcing to be on an exhibition in South Korea, they posted some cute art as well on New Year's Eve. But none of that was as important as what they have posted on 26th of January. A trailer where they would announce when the game is officially out for the public to play. As previously mentioned, that date is the 27th of February 2024. Much earlier than what most expected, but this will not be the only exciting thing we will get to see about the game. Within the next 24 hours, two more trailers were dropped as well. The first being a gameplay trailer, showcasing us many different locations and terrains, but also how broad and wide the entire world seems to be. Additionally, they showed us some selected scenes of the gameplay, and how the enemy designs look. From what I've seen from the trailers, I would say it looks decent. But in the end, it is a mobile phone game, and this is also apparent in the trailers. None of the trailers released seem to be matching the quality of what the Enfield tech test showed us. This is not too surprising considering Enfield was created for other hardware as well, and Enfield's mobile version will likely look more scuffed as well. No one that ends up buying this game should expect any graphical revolutions. But also personally prefer it this way. A game that has hours of content with decent graphics is way better than the most amazing graphics with 30 minutes of gameplay. Most phones are also limited by their storage capacity. It seems to me that Hypogriff had in mind that not everyone has the most recent technology, and I believe it will be accessible for even some older phones as well. At the moment, I couldn't find anything mentioning on how big the game is gonna be, but I estimate it to be around 15.6 GB. This is based on absolutely nothing, but I just want to see how badly this ages. As for the second most recent trailer, we would already get to know about the first collab EX Astris will be having. And this is to no one's surprise with Arknights. In the description of the collab announcement, it says, and I quote, "Participate to secure your own crossover attire privilege that allows you to unlock permanent access to the crossover attire once the game is live." Leading me to believe that most likely it will just be the outfits as showcased in the video, but there is also a chance that other outfits besides Shen and Damia will be available for other characters as well. This also brings me to another thing worth looking at. The characters themselves. As whom are we gonna explore the world in EX Astris? The main protagonist is Vi 3, also known as the Princess of Doran. A loyal follower of her is Manganese, a cute little critter that used to be a fierce beast, but became a loyal follower and friend of our main character. Also, his war cry is one of the most terrifying things I've heard recently. Next up is Jan. She is no ordinary girl. Earthers obtained samples from a place known as Alindo and refined those for biological experiments. This resulted in a batch of embryos. Out of those, Jan was born. From a very early age on, she was trained to be an elite fighter. Jan is beside Vi 3, the second main character that is pretty much seeable in every out of the game. I also really like the black and white color contrast between the two. The third known character is Astero, the sovereign of Sharadar. She's embracing her clan's legacy and steeled herself to become who she is right now, even though she used to be a shy girl. Definitely the best designed character so far. I also love the red stockings. Red and black and white in general were also one of my favorite color combinations for characters. And just as of writing the script, a fourth character was announced. For our Husbando fans, we get the Tyrant, from the same clan as Astero. The Tyrant was born to a Sheradish Smith family and is a very warm-hearted person. His dreams are to make everyone's life better, especially because on how harsh the environment is in Sheradish's lands. If you are a big lore enthusiast, then I'd urge you to watch the lore trailer that just came out. It gives you a very brief rundown of everything you need to know about the world, but to summarize it in a few words, Earth has discovered a wormhole to a different civilization on a different planet, which is Alindo. Alindo's inhabitants are similar to Earth's, and first peace was a place. This would change once Alindo's inhabitants claimed Earthers have broken Alindo's prohibitions and laws. Earthers have since been creating a special force with special abilities to investigate Alindo. And this was pretty much what was said in the trailer. There is a shit ton more to know about its lore, like that the planet apparently is TDL locked and is divided to a night and day side, which sounds very interesting. I haven't really understood it yet, but this would make a lot of sense, because the main characters are also black and white, which would make sense with the night and day cycle. In the end, I will leave this up to you to discover, since it feels worth going into this with not too much knowledge beforehand. Anyway, since the game was developed by Hypogriff, many expect the music to be top notch, like in the previous game Arknights. Expectations are without a doubt really high for the game, but since this ain't a gacha game and is a one-time purchase one, I assume many players will just watch streams and videos about the game instead of playing it themselves. I also don't know how much I will be liking the game once it finally released. A lot of things look very decent, from aesthetics to characters to gameplay. It's very nice to see a different kind of game in the Arknight style. But will it be entertaining? And if yes, how long will it be entertaining for? This is still a question that even after watching all the trailers, I can't really answer. I hope it meets my expectations, but I highly doubt I will be as addicted to it as I was to Arknights. But I will buy it to try it at least out. So let me end the video with the question I am most curious about. Will you buy EX Astris?